بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله الذي لا إله إلا هو على ما من به علينا من النعم الكثيرة الظاهرة والباطنة، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلوات الله وسلامه عليه. By the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate. All praise belongs to Allah, the one that there's none that has the right to be worshipped except Him, who has bestowed upon us blessings in abundance, those blessings that are outward and inward. And I bear witness that none has the right to be worshipped other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's alone, without having any partners. And I bear witness that Muhammad ibn Abdullah, that he is his servant and his messenger. To proceed, ya ikhwan, اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من علم لا ينفع ومن قلب لا يخشع ومن نفس لا تشبع ومن دعاء لا يسمع. Verily, Allah, we seek refuge with you from knowledge that has no benefit, and from a heart that has no fear, and from a soul that has no satisfaction nor contentment, and from a dua that goes unanswered, and from a dua that goes unanswered. To proceed, ya ikhwan, فنواصل معكم في هذا اليوم المبارك عونا من الرحمن الرحيم. So we continue in this blessed and noble day of ours, seeking the aid in the assistance of our Lord, the most merciful, the most compassionate. مستفيدين متعلمين من علم اللغة من علم اللغة, as we continue to learn collectively, deriving knowledge and benefit from the science of the Arabic language. From the science of the Arabic language. Wa alaykum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. طيب، فلأصحاب الكتب وصلنا إلى القراءة الجديدة. So for those that have the book, we have arrived at ماذا? At a new reading. We have Sheikh Abdullah, Sheikh Nakir. Assalamu alaikum ya ikhwan. How's our beloved brothers today? May Allah bless you both, ya ikhwan. Barakallahu feena wa feekum. May Allah bless us and you. Alright, for those that have the book, we have arrived at a new reading. Walhamdulillah. Wa nahnu ala safhati 90. And we are page number 90. Page number 90. وتشرفنا بأن تعلمنا بعض الكلمات. And we were honored by our Lord to have memorized some words. Walhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. من هذه الكلمات, from these words, يا إخوان. Who has a word that we memorized so far? Sheikh Nakir, أعطينا كلمة جديدة. Give us a new word that we learned so far. تذكر? Remember? Inshallah. Okay, I'll send it to you again, inshallah. No, ليس مشكلة. طيب, we learned the word خالف. في المضارع يخالف. طيب, يخالف. طيب, ما معنى خالف يا إخوان? What does it mean خالف? من يعلم? Who knows? خالف. Accent, to contradict, to oppose. Accent, to contradict, to oppose. وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. كيف أنت يا شيخ؟ الحمد لله رب العالمين. We Sheikh Zahid, I posed some questions to Sheikh Yahya the other day, And inshallah ta'ala, the brothers send me the audio when the sheikh answer the questions, and they will translate them inshallah ta'ala. I asked him could we do a telelink with him, but he said right now with the Houthiyun and everything it's maybe kind of hard to do a telelink. But he said if the brothers have any questions or so, then they can pose them. So we have some questions here, so we pose them, and when the brother sends me the audio, then we'll try to translate them back inshallah. Nah, may Allah bless you. طيب من عنده كلمة? Who else has a new word يا إخوان that we learned? Our sister, she says birrun. MashaAllah. We learned the word birrun. أحسنتي. birrun. ما معنى البر? What's the meaning of bir يا إخوان? Hey, righteousness, obedience, أحسنت. Devoutness. جميلا. طيب أين برنا لوالدينا? Where is our righteousness and obedience to our parents? يا إخوان, may Allah help us all. طيب وكذلك تعلمنا كلمة ماذا؟ اعتراف. اعتراف. We learned the word اعتراف. من يترجمها? Who can translate يا إخوان؟ اعتراف. من يعلم؟ Hey, to profess, to acknowledge. جميلا. طيب اعتراف, to acknowledge, to confess, to profess. نعم أحسنتم. طيب عندنا كذلك كلمة استحق. يستحق. We also learned the word استحق في المضارع in the present tense. يستحق. استحق. يستحق. من يترجمها? Who can translate? Hey, أحسنت. To be worthy of. جميلا. MashaAllah. To have the right. To be worthy of. To deserve. طيب استحق. We're going to write to be worthy of. To deserve. جميلا. لا يستحق العبادة إلا الله. No one deserves to be worshipped. No one. Nothing. Except Allah. طيب قرأنا القراءة. We read the reading يا إخوان. والآن نشرحها. So now we just comment over it. من عنده إشكال من القراءة? Who has some difficulty from the reading? تفضل. نعم.
I see that the preposition or the damir huma
نعم.
it's been changed several times.
Our brother says whom has been changed a few times. Give me an example. وضح لنا.
Now on Zamin, down at the bottom, Zamin, where it says كيف يكون إنسان ابن حينا.
نعم. طيب سؤال جيد. Get down. طيب سؤال جميل. Beautiful question. Our beloved brother Abdullah is asking a question يا إخوان. أحيانا نجد, sometimes you see, we find مثلا هما وأحيانا هما. Sometimes you find في لغة العرب هما, sometimes you find هما. لماذا تغيير? Why the change? لماذا تغيير؟ طيب الأصل هنا, الأصل, the origin is هما. The origin is هما. هذا الأصل. هذا الأصل. This one is the origin, the foundation. هما. مضموم الهاء. مضموم الهاء. The ها has a ضمة. هذا الأصل. أو هذا هو الأصل. هذا هو الأصل. This is the origin. هما with the ضمة on the ها. لكن من سياق الجملة, من سياق الجملة, however, based upon the context of the sentence, وماذا الجملة, موقف الكلمة فيها نحويا, also the grammatical structure of the word in the sentence. أحيانا الضمة انقلبت كسرة, from the context of the sentence and the grammatical structure, so the word placement of the sentence. فمثلا إذا سبقت هذه الكلمة بحرف الجر, for example, if this pronoun is preceded by a preposition, الضمة انقلبت كسرة, then the dhamma becomes a kasra. In the sentence our beloved brother Abdullah mentions, he says إلى إليهما. إليهما. So write this word down يا إخوان. إليهما. إليهما. الأصل هنا, the origin here is إلى هما. هذا الأصل. This is the origin here. إلى هما. إلى هما. إلى هما. This is the origin. للعرب المشي من السكون إلى الضمة كان صعبا عليهم. For the Arab, coming from a sukun to a dhamma was hard. To say إليهم, إليهما, إليهما, to come from the sukun إليه, إليهما. So when you put them together, the origin would be إليهما. To the Arab, this was difficult. إليهما. To come from this sukun and then go to a dhamma. That's hard. Well, that was hard for them. So, من تخفيف ومن تسهيل, to make it easy, when the Arab, they would put change this dhamma to a kasra. It's easier to pronounce. If you say إليهم, إليهم, إليهما, that's difficult to some of the Arab. So it came تسهيلا, at ease, إليه, إليه, kasra. It's easy to go from a sukun to a kasra. It's easier. So to the Arab, They will pronounce it ilayhi. So if this huma is preceded with a ماذا حرف جر, then the dhamma becomes a kasra. إليه, that was صعب, that was difficult. فيقولون إليه, إليه, that's easier to go from سكون to ماذا, to a kasra. No. هذا سؤال جميل. That's a beautiful question. So the principle الأصل يكون هما, the origin is هما. إذا سبق هذا الضمير بحرف الجر انقلبت الضمة كسرة. So if this huma is preceded by preposition, then the kasra becomes, the dhamma becomes kasra. So you're going to write إذا سبق بحرف جر انقلبت الضمة كسرة. So you students of Arabic, memorize this principle here. And I'll make all of us students of Arabic. Someone says, why do you say students of Arabic when you guys are studying Arabic? So you guys are students of Arabic. Who can answer? Let's see who's the Bukhari of our brothers and the Salama of our sisters. Why do we say انقلبت الضمة كسرة? This should be الضمة الكسرة ضمة. Sometimes we say, you students of hadith, when we're studying hadith, or we're in class and you say, you students of Quran, and we're studying Quran. Or we say, you students of Arabic, and we're studying Arabic. Why say that? You guys are studying the science, so why are you saying that? What's the benefit? Just the crowd says to deserve our sentence. Hey, our sentence. Not everyone who's in a class of something, ya ikhwan, is a student of that thing. Not everyone who reads a book is studying that book. Not everyone who sat with a sheikh is a student of the sheikh. Two different things. عندنا محب العلم وطالب العلم. Write this down, ya ikhwan. A tremendous benefit. There's a difference between someone who loves knowledge and a seeker of knowledge. الفرق بين محبي العلم. Many of us are this first group. Many of us. And that's okay. We can transition, inshallah. But muhibbi, many of us are this first group. We're not students of knowledge. We love knowledge. Muhibb al-ilm wa talib al-ilm. Two different qualities. One is more detailed than the other. There should be an alif. Talib al-ilm. This is most of us, this first group. Most of us, we're not students of knowledge. We love knowledge. We read from time to time. The second group, the student of knowledge. May Allah make us all students of knowledge. Write this sentence down, ya ikhwan. الفرق بين محب العلم وطالب العلم. There's a difference, a grave difference between the lover of knowledge and the student of knowledge, the seeker of knowledge. Two different levels. Many of us haven't graduated to the second level yet. The second level, you're going to see it in his speech, his manners, his quality, his character. The first level, he just reads, he studies from time to time, but it's not his life. That's most of us. He goes to class once in a blue. He doesn't seek knowledge. It's not part of his hayah. It's not part of his life. When he's free, he studies. When he's free, he reads. When she's free, she memorizes. هذا محب العلم. That's the lover of knowledge. وطالب العلم هو لا ينقطع عن طلب العلم أبدا. The student of knowledge, what about him? She or her and him, they never stop learning. Never. لا ينقطع أبدا. They never stop increasing themselves in knowledge. Never. محب العلم ينقطع. يدرس أحيانا لا يدرس أحيانا ينقطع. The lover of knowledge, it's not his life to learn. It's not his life. He learns sometimes, he stops learning. He seeks some knowledge, he stops seeking knowledge. The student of knowledge, his path, his quest is never over. He never stops. So we're going to give you one quality, ikhwan. Well, we mentioned two already. We're going to write one down, inshallah. Muhibbul ilm, the lover of knowledge. Yanqati'u, yadrusu wa yanqati'. You're going to write, he studies, she studies. Yadrusu al-ilma wa yanqati'u an al-ilmi wa yanqati'u عن العلم يدرسه حينا إلى الآخر يدرسه حينا إلى الآخر. This is most of us, ya ikhwan. We think we're students of knowledge. No, we haven't graduated yet. We're almost there. May Allah increase all of us. The lover of knowledge, Muhibbul ilm, the lover of it. Muhibbul ilm. He studies it. Yadrusul ilma. He seeks knowledge. وَيَنْقَطِعُ. But he stops from time to time. It's not part of his life. يدرسه حينا إلى الآخر. He studies it from time to time. Memorize this, ikhwan. So not everyone who sits in the class is a student of that class. Many of our brothers, they make Umrah and Hajj, and they sit in some of the noble mashaykh, their lessons. And they come back home and say, hey, I sat with Sheikh such and such. Sitting with someone doesn't make you a student of that sheikh. This one just loves knowledge. So the sheikh is given a class. He sat in the class. He benefited from the sheikh. He didn't study with the sheikh. As many of us, I read that book. I didn't study that book. I sat in that class. I didn't study that class. Many of us, many lectures on the YouTubes and the Facebooks and many other apps that you can benefit from. Allahu Akbar. لكن الذي يدرس في الدرس بدون دفتر وبدون قلم لا يدرس شيئا. يستفيد ماذا يستفيد منه لكن لا يدرسه. The person is on the YouTube or on the website listening to a lecture or a class with no notebook and no pen in their hand. This is most of us. We listen to a lecture, we don't have a notebook, we don't have a pen. So we're not studying the lesson. We're benefiting whatever we can benefit from just by listening. But we're not studying it. If you're not writing a benefit, if you sit in a lesson, you brothers right now, you sisters right now in our class, if you're just sitting there with nothing to write with, you're not studying with us. You're sitting in the class. We have nothing to write with and nothing to write on. You're not studying anything. You're going to get a benefit from here or there, but you're not studying it. Likewise, reading a book. أنت تقرأ كتابا ما. You're reading a book. بدون دفتر وبدون قلم لتسجل الفوائد لا تدرس الكتابة. You're reading a book, but you don't have a notebook with you and a pen or a pencil with you. You're not studying that book. You're just reading it. You're not writing down the benefits. You're not writing down the ayat, the hadith. So you're not really studying it. You're reading it. Two different points. طيب. So the طالب العلم لا ينقطع عن العلم أبدا. The student of knowledge, he never stops seeking knowledge. Even when he's on vacation, he still learns something. Even when he was on break, he takes his family. We're somewhere we can take our family, ikhwan. You take your family to the beach. Maybe before Fajr you go to the beach, or late night after Isha when there's not a lot of fitna there. You take your wife to the water, your children to the water. No problem. No problem. Even when you're on vacation, the student of knowledge is still going to learn something. He's still going to have a class. He's still going to read and memorize and go over. It's part of his life. He never stops. For example. May Allah bless you, ya ikhwan. طيب نمشي. Let's continue, inshallah. طيب. Anyone else have a question before we continue, ya ikhwan, about the lesson? كلكم فاهمون? Everyone understands? ما عندنا إشكال? No difficulty? طيب. You sisters understand? جميلا. طيب. قال سالم. We finished. Where did we stop, يا إخوان? We finished Salim's speech, صح? طيب. قال سالم. I think we read Salim's already. قال محمود. نعم. Mahmoud said yes. قال أحمد. Ahmed speaks. هل أطيع والدي في كل شيء ولا أخالفهما Now here, this is a printing. This should be خالفهما. Now this here is a copy error. This fatha should be a dhamma. أخالفهما. طيب. Ahmed says, do I obey my parents في كل شيء, in everything, and I don't oppose them? أطيع is the mudari' of طاعة أو أطاع أطيعنا. So the verb is أطاع. The mudari' is يطيع, to obey. The past tense أطاع, to obey, to comply. أطاع. ولا أخالفهما. ولا أخالفهما. He says, and not oppose them. أخالف, this alif goes back to أنا. The alif goes back to أنا. في المضارع كل ألف تعود إلى أنا. And the mudari' and the present tense, every alif goes back to the speaker. And لا أخالفهما, and not oppose them, and I not oppose them. Meaning the two parents. كل ألف في المضارع, we give you a principle in grammar. في المضارع, in the present tense of the verb. In the present tense of the verb, في المضارع, write this down يا إخوان. في المضارع, in the present tense, الألف تعود إلى أنا, إلى ضميري أنا. You students of Arabic, write this down. Every, in the present tense of the verb, every alif, the alif goes back to the pronoun I, to the speaker. If it's the mudari', every present tense verb goes back to I. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. If it has the alif, it goes back to the speaker. In the present tense of the verb, the alif, let's keep the term, goes back to the pronoun I. And that's going to help you tremendously, ya ikhwan, in your Arabic. Every alif. نقول مثلا أدرس, who can translate? أدرس Hey, I study. Ahsant. Whose turn? Sheikh Nakir. أصلي. ترجم. Translate. طيب. Sheikh Abdullah. أكتب. ترجم. Translate.
I wrote.
Hey, I wrote, or I'm writing, or I write. I sent. طيب. One more يا إخوان. الرسوم. Whose turn? الرسوم. Who can translate? رسم يرسم. الرسوم. One of our sisters. الرسوم. كل ألف تعود إلى أنا. Every alif in the mudari', in the present tense verb, is always going to go back to I. Whatever verb you use, it doesn't matter the verb. That's a principle that's never broken. I. أدرس, I study, or I am studying. أصلي, I am praying. أكتب, I write or I am writing. أرسم, I am drawing or I draw. No. طيب, let's continue يا إخوان. قال محمود speaks. نعم أطيعهما في كل شيء. He says yes, obey them in everything. إلا إذا أمراك بخطأ أو معصية. He says except if both of them were to command you with error or sin. لله, disobedience and sin to Allah. فيمكن أن توضح لهما رأيك بهدوء ولا تطيعهما. He says, then it's possible for you to clarify for them your opinion, your position. بهدوء, with calmness and ease, and do not obey them. طيب, our first word here in this tremendous benefit يا إخوان, أمرا. أمرا. First benefit. I want you to write the word أمرا. أمرا. And the مضارع يأمر, to command. أمرا, to command. To command. Sometimes the sisters, they say, you don't have the right to command me. You say, yes, you do. Anyone that's above you, meaning يسأل عنك يوم القيامة عنده الفضل بأن يأمرك بشيء. Anyone who is above you, meaning when we say above, we mean not that they're better, no, that they're going to be questioned about your affair. Anyone who is above, meaning has the is going to be questioned Yawm al-Qiyamah about someone else or something else, they can command it. They have the right to give a command because they're going to be questioned about it. Every parent can command their child. The imams can command the people in the community. The leaders of the Muslims can command the Muslims. The husband can command a wife. Because all of these are questioned Yawm al-Qiyamah about those who they're under. When the husband leaves the house, the wife is in charge. So she's going to be questioned about the affairs of the house عند غياب الرجل, when the man is not there. عند حضوره هو يسأل عنهم ليس هي أو ليست هي. When the man is there, then he's questioned about what's going on, not her. When he leaves, she's in charge. When the parents leave, the oldest child is in charge. وهكذا. So amara means to command. Amara is to command. طيب. Here he says amara. وعليكم السلام شيخ عبد الوهاب. كيف حالكم اليوم? My beloved brother. طيب. Here in the Muthanna, he says amara with the alif. المراد هنا المثنى. The intent here is the duo, two people. أمراك, if they both obey or command you. أمرا, two of them. أمرا, both of them commanded. No. صليا, they both prayed. كتبا, they both wrote. This alif is the alif of two people. So this alif is alif اثنين. الألف أو ألف الاثنين. This is the alif of the dual. ألف الاثنين. Or you can say ألف المثنى, the alif of two. Not every alif is the same. This alif is called ألف الاثنين, the alif of two. Or you can say the alif of المثنى, the dual alif. طيب. So now he says, أن توضح لهما رأيك. Another benefit, the word رأي. He says رأيك. The origin is رأيك, but it's رأيك because it's the مفعول به. رأيك, your opinion. The alif of two, or the alif of the dual. So this رأيك, the origin here يا إخوان, is your opinion. رأي can be an opinion. It can also be a position. Can also be a position. So it says your opinion. It can also mean your your position. It can also mean, we're in class يا إخوان. It can also be ماذا? It can also be position. You say to someone, يا شيخ ما رأيك? You could be asking, what's your opinion? Or you could be asking, what's your position? What's your position in the issue? You say, هذا الشيخ رأيه هو. You say, this sheikh, his position is. So رأي can be an opinion, can also be a position. The word رأي can be an opinion, or can also be a position. So they mean the same, but they can be used differently. This is my opinion, meaning this is my position. Your opinion is your position. No. So he says, بِهُدُوءٍ. بِهُدُوءٍ. Hudu, with calmness and ease. That's in your heart. MashaAllah, ya ikhwan. It's nothing like a ease or tranquil heart. He says, بِهُدُوءٍ. بِهُدُوءٍ. With ease and calmness. Not every situation is going to be calm, but it's nothing like a calm soul with calmness, with ease. There's a great position by Imam Hassan al-Basri. He says, سئل الإمام حسن البصري رحمه الله عن سر زهده في الدنيا. So the questioner, Hassan al-Basri, was tremendous, ya ikhwan. His aestheticism in the dunya. He wasn't inclined to this worldly life at all. So the Muslims were amazed by how he used to live. He didn't talk about people. He didn't lie. He didn't backbite. He was a true scholar. Rahimahullah. He didn't lean towards this dunya at all. So they asked him, "Oh Imam, what's your secret of your aestheticism? How are you not inclined to this dunya? You don't care about this life. What's your secret?" He says, "Arba'atu ashya." 4 things. Let's write this down, ya ikhwan, so we can benefit grammatically also. He says, the question was, I want you to write this, ya ikhwan. It was, ma sirruka. ما سر أو ما سر نعم زهدك في الدنيا. So the questioner says, what is your secret regarding your aestheticism in this dunya? What's your secret here? ما سر زهدك في الدنيا. What's your secret in this life? Like, what do you're mad at? What is your secret here? This should be, that's a طيب. So he says, أربعة أشياء. 4 things. I want you to memorize these 4, ya ikhwan. It's going to change your lives. If we memorize these 4 and apply them, Allahu Akbar. May Allah help us all. He says, أربعة أشياء. 4 things. أربعة أشياء. 4 things. Number 1. He says, علمت. So what did he say, ikhwan? What's the secret of your aestheticism in this dunya? What is your secret? What do you do of your zuhud, your aestheticism in this life? Someone who's not inclined to the dunya, it doesn't move him one way or another. He says, Arba'atu ashya. He says, my secret is in 4 things. What I do is just 4 things. Ma sirru zuhudika. What's the secret of your zuhud, your aestheticism? Your zuhud in this life. He says, Arba'atu ashya. 4 things. 4 things. The first, علمت أن رزقي لا يأخذه غيري فطمأن قلبي. Allahu Akbar, ya ikhwan. He says, in 4 things. In 4 things. Number 1, I know that my provision, no one else is going to take it. No one else is going to take it from me. Was decreed for me for a provision, no one else is going to get it. It's for me. He says, علمت أن رزقي لا يأخذه غيري فطمئن قلبي. He says, I know, I have knowledge, I know that my provision لا يأخذه غيري, that no one else is going to take it from me. No one. فطمئن قلبي, and this brings ease to my heart. Knowing this point here, فطمئن, there should be a سكون. طيب, فطمئن قلبي, this brings ease, tranquility to my heart. MashaAllah. He says, I know that my provision, لا يأخذه غيري, no one is going to take the provision that's decreed for me. No one can take that. فطمئن قلبي, so my heart is at ease. If you know your provision is with Allah, فطمئن قلبك, your heart is going to be at ease. 4 things, ya ikhwan. He says, I know that my provision, no one is going to take it. And this brings ease to my heart. My provision is with Allah. I believe that. I know that. So my heart is at ease and tranquil. Number 2. لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله. طيب. علمت أن عملي لا يقوم به غيري فانشغلت به وحدي. It gets more humble in each of the 4. He says, number 2. I know that my actions, علمت أن عملي لا يقوم به غيري فانشغلت به وحدي. He says, number 2, my actions, my work, I know no one else is going to do it. So I busy myself with it myself. My actions, my speech, the actions of mine, no one is going to do my actions. No one's going to do my worship besides me. So I busy myself with it myself. علمت أن عملي لا يقوم به غيري. No one is going to do my actions. It's for me. It's decreed for me to do this. So I busy myself with it myself. علمت أن عملي لا يقوم به غيري. I know my actions, my works, no one is going to do it besides me. فانشغلت به وحدي أو وحدي. So I busy myself with it. So I busy myself with it, me, alone. I know that my actions, no one is going to do it besides me. So I busy myself with it. alone. Me and me alone. No one's going to do it. Inshaghala means to be busy. فانشغلت به وحدي. So I busy myself with it. Me alone. Now the third and fourth is going to end our class here, Ikhwan. There's no way to continue after this. Number 1 is humble. Number 2 is humble. Number 3 and 4. Ya salam, ya Ikhwan. May Allah help us. طيب. Number 3. He says, علمت أن الله مطلع علي. Aqidah. The people say, why you always talk about Aqidah, Aqidah, Aqidah? It's the most important. Your belief. Number 3, he says, guys have number. علمت أن عملي لا يقوم به غيري فانشغلت به وحدي. I know that my actions, no one is going to do them. No one else is going to do them. So I busy myself with it alone. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. طيب. What time is it, يا اخوان? It's almost prayer. Yes, Allah. طيب. Number 3. He says, علمت أن الله مطلع علي فاستحييت أن يراني على معصية. Number 3, he says, I know that Allah sees me. أن الله مطلع علي فاستحييت أن يراني. This is true aqidah, ya ikhwan. True belief. May Allah give us the belief of the great imams. Ma'siyatin. He says, I know that Allah sees me. This should not be a sukoon here. مطلع. He says, I know that Allah sees me. So I'm shy for him to see me upon sin. This is the belief. The stronger your aqidah becomes, the better your Islam will be. The ultimate shyness, at-taqwa lillah, having the true fear of Allah. He says, I know that Allah sees me. And thus, I'm shy for him, Allah, to see me upon disobedience. الرابع, number 4. Now I guess the most humble, or number 3 is 3 and 4 can be argued. Number 4. علمت أن الموت ينتظرني. He says, I know that death is waiting me. فعددت الزاد للقاء ربي. He says, number 4. I know that death is awaiting me. We say we believe we're going to die, but we don't believe we're going to die. Look at our actions. It's just speech. He says, علمت أن الموت ينتظرني فأعتد get off me يا أخي, your nails. فأعتد نعم فأعتد الزاد للقاء ربي. So I prepare for the meeting of my Lord. The one who truly believes in Allah, it doesn't mean he's not going to make error. He's going to make error, but not a lot of error. You're going to see he believes in Allah in his speech, his actions, his manners, his conduct. He says, Alimtu, I know, أن الموت, that death, ينتظرني فأعتد. So I prepare. Azada, the meaning, or I prepare preparations. للقاء ربي. I prepare for the meeting of my Lord. For the greatest advice you're ever gonna learn. Yeah. I know my provisions is decreed by Allah. No one's gonna take it but me. I know my actions. No one's gonna do it but me. I know my Lord sees me, and I'm sure that He sees me upon sin. I know that death is waiting me. Provision, actions, Allah, death. May Allah help us. He says, I know that death is awaiting me. So I prepare preparation for the meeting of my Lord. طيب, let's finish يا إخوان. أمر الخطأ والمعصية. طيب, one new where we have يمكن. يمكن is the مضارع of أمكن. يمكن is the مضارع of أمكن. So the word أمكن, we're going to write, is the past tense. أمكن, and the present tense يمكن, to be possible, to be able. أمكن. يمكن. To be able. To be possible. والمعصية عكس طاعة. عكس طاعة. The word معصية, we're going to write the opposite of obedience. عكس طاعة. Sin is the opposite of obedience. Disobedience is the opposite of obedience. معصية, sin, disobedience. عكس طاعة is the opposite of obedience. Disobedience is the opposite of obedience. طيب. He says, we'll do one more inshallah. وكيف يكون الإحسان إليهما بعد وفاتهما, and how is goodness to them after their death. طيب, we have those words there. Mahmoud says, بالصدقة عنهما والدعاء لهما. Two benefits here, ya ikhwan. He says, let's write this down. بالصدقة, by giving sadaqah or with sadaqah, charity. Now pay attention here. He says anhuma, بالصدقة anhuma. He didn't say alayhima. Now sometimes the particles are interchangeable, but sometimes the meaning varies. بالصدقة عنهما. And this is an example of ayn is a harf jar, but it doesn't change the dhamma. So not every harf jar. منهما, min also, منهما, منهما, إلى, على, not an and not min. بهما, the ba, yes. طيب, here the sadaqah, he says, by charity, by or with charity, anhuma. This an here is not on them, it's more like on their behalf. As-sadaqatu alayhi is different than sadaqatu anhu. Sadaqatu ala is you giving charity to the person. Sadaqatu an, you giving charity on behalf of the person. One of the sisters, may Allah reward her, there were two families. They donated to our masjid project. We're trying to raise money. Every month we're going to buy some books for our masjid. We don't have a lot of books at our masjid, so we're going to buy some books. Every month we're asking the students to donate $10 a month. We have about 20 of us, 10 brothers, 10 sisters, mashallah, give or take, who come regularly. So that's $200 a month. So a family donated to us. Someone says this sadaqah is on behalf of someone else. I'm giving it to you on behalf of. So sadaqah ala and sadaqah an, two different meanings. If you say هذه sadaqah alayka, this sadaqah is for you. Right? As-sadaqatu ala. Sadaqah for. This sadaqah is for you. It's delivered upon you. And then you have sadaqah an. This sadaqah is on behalf of someone else. So with your parents that pass away, you're not giving them sadaqah. No. This sadaqah is on their behalf. It doesn't fall on them. The reward of it falls on them. Two different meanings. As-sadaqatu an. You say this sadaqah is an Sheikh such and such. Is on behalf of Sheikh such and such. It's different than this sadaqah is for Sheikh such and such. Two different meanings. So you have an and ala. An and ala. So in the reading, anhuma, by giving charity on their behalf. The charity doesn't go to them. No, it goes to someone else, but the reward is going to fall on the parent. You give it with the intention of this is for the sake of Allah, on behalf of my Abi, on behalf of my Ummi, like that. So sadaqatu ala, the charity falls upon. Charity falls upon such and such. Sadaqah an, the charity is on behalf of such and such. So the reward is on behalf of someone else. The reward falls on that person. You make umrah for your mother. You get the good deed of making the umrah for your mother, but it's not your umrah. You did it on behalf of your mother. So you get the reward of making the umrah for your mother, but that's not your umrah. That's not counted as your umrah. No. That's why you should make umrah first, and then make umrah for your parents. But if you make it for your parents, that's not your umrah. You still owe umrah. Or hajj, for example. The sister makes hajj on behalf of her mother. And then she passes away without making hajj on herself. If she had the ability to do so, she's sinful. And in that regard, she will get a reward, but she will be sinful. Why is she sinful? She made hajj for her mother. Why is she sinful? If she dies without making hajj for herself, why is she sinful? She made it for her mother. It's highly recommended to make it on someone's behalf, but it's not obligatory. But it's obligatory to make it for herself. So it's more honorable. You do the obligation first. You do your hajj. Now your next hajj is for your parents. That's why I don't understand when the brothers make multiple hajj for themselves and their parents never made hajj. That's backwards, ikhwan. Especially if the parents passed away or they're old and they can't make hajj. Instead of you making multiple hajj, you made your hajj, Now make Hajj on behalf of your father, your mother. Maximize your good deeds. No, especially if they're older or they have passed away, especially if they passed away. After your Hajj, don't make multiple Hajj for you. No. Someone is more honorable than you, your father and your mother. Someone is more honorable than you, your father and your mother. طيب. So last point, ya ikhwan, here, the sadaqah on behalf, the charity on behalf of. Two different meanings. And the last point he says, وَالدُّعَاءِ لَهُمَا. Now pay attention here. The word dua can go with la and ala. Pay attention here. He says, وَبِالدُّعَاء لَهُمَا. And by making dua for them. The word dua can come with the lahu and alayhi. Two different particles. And the meaning changes. And with or by supplication for them. So the two particles that come with dua, the lam and ala, والمعنى يتغير, and the meaning is going to change. So pay attention here. So last point, inshallah, then we'll stop, inshallah ta'ala. The word dua can come with li, and the word dua can come with ala. You say to someone, ud'u li, ud'u li. What am I saying, ya ikhwan? Who can translate? Ud'u li. Hey, make dua for me. Make dua for me. Supplicate for me. To me. طيب. Ud'u alayya. Now let's change the meaning. Ud'u alayya. Who can translate? Ud'u al. Hey, Arsent, make dua against me. Two different meanings. The li and the ala. Li and ala. Li is for. Ala against. So sometimes you say, hey, ya akhi, make dua upon me. No, 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 no. Make dua for you. Two different meanings. Someone say, hey, ud'u li ya akhi. Make dua for me, may Allah bless you. Shukran. He said, ud'u alayya. Make dua against me. In Arabic, the meaning changes. May Allah make it example. So with the dua, the word li, the lam, for, ala, against. No. طيب. For homework, we're going to go to exercise number 1. He says, التدريب الأول, exercise number 1. أجب عن الأسئلة التالية من النص. Answer the following questions from the reading. We have 8 questions here from the reading. Number 1. You're going to do it for homework. We're just going to make sure everyone understands the assignment. هل تطيع والديك في كل شيء? Do you obey your parents in everything? I want you to answer. ماذا قال سالم لمحمود? What did Salim say to Mahmud? Number 3. كيف أجاب محمود? How did Mahmud reply? So you're going to go to the reading and answer. كيف توضح رأيك لوالديك? How do you clarify your opinion or your position to your parents? How do you do that? Number 5. لماذا يستحق الوالدان طاعة والإحسان? Why do the two parents deserve obedience and goodness? Number 6. كيف تبر والديك بعد وفاتهما? He mentions 2. How do you obey and are righteous to your parents after their death? And the last one, number 7. بماذا دعا محمود في نهاية الحوار? What did Mahmud make dua? What was his dua at the end of the conversation? So the answers are in the reading. This will be your homework, inshallah ta'ala. We have most of your homework. Sheikh Abdul Wahab, did you see my check-in of yours? Your last homework? And Sister Zakiya, I believe I have yours also. I wanted you to go to the article, to the reading, and give me 10 nouns, 10 verbs, and 10 particles. And this is exercise number 2, inshallah. These 7 sentences will continue with exercise number 2 in the next class. طيب وستop يا اخوان. طيب